Pledge of allegiance, please. Okay, Tom, can you read resolution number 2025-.01.16.01?
Appointing USI Insurance Services as the Association's insurance broker. Appointing insurance service, USI Insurance Service as the Association's insurance broker.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, the resolution before the board is to appoint USI Insurance Services for the association's insurance broker. You'll see contained in the resolution, the board had interviewed a couple of companies, USI Insurance Services as well as AccuSure. Based upon those interviews, the board felt it in the best interest of the association to appoint USI as the insurance broker. We also have some literature on the back table with the agendas. If you haven't grabbed one, it gives you a little bit of background on their company.
Thank you, Tom. Tom, can you read resolution number 2025.01.16.02?
Approving the sale of block 1248, lot 303.02.
Once again, that resolution before the board is for the sale of lot 303.02, aka 303B. This unit was acquired by the association via foreclosure. The unit was renovated by our in-house personnel. We do have a contract for $135,000 for the unit. We do have an outstanding debt on the account of $45,572.56. This unit will also be subject to any outstanding mortgages.
Thank you, Tom. So at this time, does anybody have any questions about the two resolutions?
Hi, I'm Lori, I'm 334B. Is this the same company that we've used before regarding the insurance?
No, it's a different company, different broker,
Pardon me?
different broker.
Okay. The benefits of this company than the other company that we had in the past, and what is the difference in the policy?
So the primary difference between the two brokers is that it's for us, it was more about customer service, okay? We've had some fires, and we had some issues, and the board has felt that, we weren't getting the service that we should have from the broker as far as helping us with those scenarios. USI is located right here in Toms River. The one person account rep for us was actually down in the Carolinas, and so we just needed to make sure that somebody was more available for Tom and be able to take care of some of these issues.
Okay, well, that costs too. Is there anything different in this policy than the previous policies we've had?
So all the policies, all the information with the insurance company at our February 20th open meeting, we're going to bring the broker in, and they will speak to all of you with all your questions about the policies, the insurance, and everything else.
Okay.
Okay?
Do we make this payment, and how was the cost?
Again, we're still waiting. We have like one or two small policies that we're trying to actually get the final cost on, and we'll have all those costs for you at the February 20th meeting.
All right, so is this, do you pay a lump sum? Do you make monthly payments? How does that work?
9 monthly payments.
Okay. Did you inquire if you paid lump sum, if there would be a discount?
Generally, that's not something that's acceptable in insurance, but we didn't ask, no.
Yeah, the question was, did you ask? That would behoove you to ask, because you can get a 5% or 10% discount on it.
That's not how it works, but go ahead.
Well, I would like you to ask, okay? Does this cost include the Taj Mahal?
As far as insuring the building?
Yeah.
Yes, of course, it insures, it's all the property on this.
Okay, well, I was just wondering, because we haven't got any updates on it. Did you inquire if a fire suppression unit would lower the cost in that building? Or are we paying a higher cost because there's no fire suppression system?
Once again, the board just appointed USI as the insurance broker, so there's a lot of conversations that have to be had. My conversation with Lakewood MUA is that the water main is not sufficient to handle a fire suppression system in that area. It would result in a major upgrade in the water main into that area in order to accommodate a fire suppression system.
Okay, and that cost would be on the village?
That's correct.
And would the cost of that warrant us putting something like that in, considering the combustibles and that'll be in the first floor of the building? And if it could lower our cost of insurance?
Well, there's a lot of analyzing that needs to be done. We don't have a cost yet from the Lakewood MUA. They do have a contractor. As an alternate solution, they have offered to put in a fire hydrant closer to the service area. So we're waiting on those costs as well.
That would behoove us, because that could probably help us an awful lot, in my opinion. So, if you could look into those things, and I would expect an answer at the next open meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Debbie Forte, 191A, Sterling Court. Since there's only a couple of insurance companies that will insure us, why would you change brokers?
Well, for me, as a president of the board, for me, it's about service. And when I see our manager struggle to get some answers when we need answers, right away on things, that was a big decision about, for the board to decide, made that decision.
But we're still going to have the same insurance companies, isn't that correct?
The insurance carrier, no, actually, our insurance carrier did change from CAU to Philadelphia.
Wasn't that one of the carriers that we had before?
Was that what? I'm sorry?
Wasn't that a carrier that we had before?
On one policy, yes.
So all our policies are going to be with the same carrier?
Correct.
Okay.
Or no.
So Philadelphia was your prior carrier for automotive, carried the buses. Now they're going to be your package policy, but there are a number of policies, D&O, environmental, et cetera. So there are a lot of different carriers involved here, but your primary carrier is Philadelphia.
Okay. Who did we have prior?
That was CAU.
No, who did we have before as our insurance broker?
JGS.
Okay, and they're not the ones that you want to use any currently?
No, the board had moved the accounts to USI from JGS.
Okay, and you think they're going to be easier to work with?
I've never worked with them before, but right now my most recent experience has all been positives.
Okay. Thank you.
Joni Williams, 175 A Sterling Court.
You lift it up there.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Just get a little closer, yeah.
All right.
A little closer.
Anyway. All right, my question is, with the lot 303.02 that's being sold, does the purchaser realize that he is required to not rent the property for at least 3 years? Is he going to be a resident here?
Yes, all new owners are made aware of that.
Thank you.
You've already been up once.
Resolution regarding the sale of Block 1, 1248, Lot 30302. How long do we not receive HOA fees? How long is it foreclosure?
That unit we acquired in 2019. Then there was a stay on evictions as a result of COVID, so I would say a good 5 years.
Okay. So how much was that in HOA fees that we did not receive?
The total debt on the account is $45,572.56. That's legal fees, association fees, and renovations.
Okay. So we're going to gain $89,000 approximately, how much?
Once again, there is an outstanding mortgage that would be satisfied as a result of the proceeds of the sale. We know one of those mortgages was $40,000. There was an additional mortgage for $20,000 that shows satisfied, but the lender didn't discharge, so our attorney is working to get clarification on that. The association will definitely be made whole on the sale.
Around $149,000 or $129,000, something
No,
around
the
that?
sale is for $135,000. Then you got to back out the realtor fees, legal fees, the outstanding mortgages, and the rearages.
And what's the net profit?
Once again, once I get that information from the attorney, I'll have that answer.
How can we make a decision on things when we don't have solid numbers? I feel that the membership here deserves to have...
I don't think you're listening to him clearly. That's what's happening right now.
No, I know.
They-
I know, but you're
he
gonna
just
find
gave you solid numbers.
Something on here between the insurance and the...
We're
sale
waiting
of
for
this.
one mortgage to go and clarify that dollar amount, okay? Which he told you was $20,000,
Right.
all right? We just need to confirm it with the bank, and then he'll be able to give you the solid numbers. That's it.
And when do you expect to have that information?
The attorney said, the lender said 7 to 10 days.
Okay, so will you send out an email to the membership to let us know for sure what this amount is?
We should have that information for the quarterly.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no other questions, can I have a motion to call the executive meeting, the open meeting to order for January 16th, 2025?
I make the motion.
We have a second? Tom, can you do the roll call, please?
Tom Hassel.
Here?
Dan Arcona.
Yes.
Judy
Yes.
May.
Yes.
Tom Quattrucci. Here. Tim Ring. Here. Blaine Walton. Here.
Thank you, Tom. Can I have a motion from the board on to approve the open meetings from, the open minutes from December 19th, 2024?
So moved.
Thanks. Okay, Tom, can I have a motion also to approve resolution 2025.01.16.01?
I make the motion.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
I have ear problems.
Any noes? Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Can I have a motion to approve resolution number 2025.01.16.02?
So moved.
Second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Judy Mapes, our treasurer report.
Yes, thank you. As of this morning, we have $3,647,770.45 in our Ameriprise account. So far this month, we've written checks for $107,184. They were for capital improvements, which include roofing masters and the bocce court. As far as collections go, from 0 to 30, we have 345 units. 31 to 60, we have 90. And 61 and above, we have 83, which is a total of 518, and we have 44 units in collections with the attorneys. That's my report.
Thank you, Judy. Anybody have any questions for Judy? Seeing none, our attorney, Greg Grodzki, his report.
Good evening. So I'll make this quick. We're obviously working with collections, just for some numbers here so we'll kind of see what we've been doing. The fourth quarter, our office recovered $124,208 in past due assessments. It's a good quarter. We'd like to have that every quarter, but I can't promise that. But obviously we're working really hard on that. We've secured all the liens as to the units that are in arrears to accelerate the maintenance fees. And I've spoken at a lot of meetings about the Corporate Transparency Act, and there's been, I don't know if you've heard in the news, there's been a lot of back and forth about whether it's in effect or not. Essentially, again, it's a federal law that requires almost every corporation in America to register its members that are in substantial control of the corporation, which for community associations that are incorporated, such as Leisure Village, that would include the Board of Trustees. There has been a lot of litigation, as you can imagine, with the federal law that impacts every corporation that's not subject to federal oversight, such as banks and publicly traded corporations. And where it basically has landed as of 6:22 p.m. on January 16th is that there is a nationwide preliminary injunction in effect, which essentially stays the enforcement or requirement to register under this federal law. The advice that I've been giving associations is to hang tight and wait how this all plays out. Obviously, there's a new administration coming in about 4 days, so we have no idea what's going to happen with this federal law because it was created by an administrative agency. Essentially, the executive branch can decide to do away with it altogether. So, hang tight. I'm sure I'll be updating again on this, but I at least want to provide everyone an update in case you hear about the CTA and whether it affects Leisure Village. The answer is that it is not in effect right now, and the association is not required to comply with it. Thanks.
Thank you, Greg. Do we have any, our village manager's report?
Once again, good evening. Just a brief report for you. Grounds crews have been around cleaning up areas in the community, any concentrations of leaves and brush. Unfortunately, recently we've had a couple of fires here in the community, one at 104 C, which was pretty significant. Also affected the B unit. Presently, 2 of the occupants in that building are displaced. We are working with our carrier, the adjusters, and the fire inspectors to get this claim resolved and get those units back, unit owners back in there as quickly as possible. The other fire that we had was recently 257 outside the porch in the mulch area. Not a substantial amount of damage, mostly scalding to the outside porch area, which we'll be working with the unit owner on getting cleaned up. We were notified by Lakewood MUA that our irrigation usage is much greater than what they had previously estimated. Those of you that attend these meetings regularly know they installed meters in the community about a year ago, and they were going to monitor the usage over the course of that year. So we did get some preliminary results, which we will be meeting with the officials from Lakewood MUA and the board on the 23rd to go over those numbers and see how it impacts the association financially. We also had a snowstorm recently. It wasn't a significant storm, but temperatures that evening did drop down to double and even single digits. And I think our crews did a great job salting the roadways, getting the sidewalks cleared and the roadways cleared so we didn't have ice conditions that evening and the following morning. I know many communities, even one I reside in, they did mobilize quick enough and then their roads turned into like basically skating rinks. We do have another potential storm coming up this weekend on Sunday. Right now, it's still uncertain what the accumulations will be, but right now they're predicting a plowable event. So we just want to make sure that you once again are aware that cars need to be removed prior to the snowstorm. Not when it starts snowing, not when there's 2 inches of snow, before the storm actually happens. The service department does put in preparations for an upcoming storm. So they'll be out there with the brining roadways. When the storm is just starting up, they'll be out there with salt trucks, trying to keep the roadways wet, so there is less accumulations on the roadway. So it's important that the vehicles are not on the roadway. This definitely interferes with our operation. It impacts operator safety, as well as potential damage to property if one of our plows or front-end loaders comes in contact with one of these parked vehicles. It's very difficult to operate in some of these tighter courts, especially when there's a lot of congestion in there. So we ask for your cooperation and please removing those vehicles prior to the snowstorm. We do our best going around to these parking areas and try to identify which ones actually have stalls open and available and get that information out to the community. As always, we'll continue to put out on-calls, giving you updates as to what the current forecasts are, and then once snow removal operations are in fact put in effect. That means if your car is on the road, our compliance official is out there, and then you identify your vehicle out there, it will be slated for towing. So just be warned. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Do we have any committee reports? Tom?
Yes, with the safety and security, just be careful out there with this snow and ice, because you can fall, hurt yourself. And don't bring your car back until you get that one call. Because people are bringing their cars back and they're getting towed or getting fines. They have to finish plowing the streets and plowing the driveways. And they can't do it if a car is brought back. So just be careful with make sure you listen to the one calls. And there is a volunteer committee that are taking people back and forth with their cars. That will be, the number will be on the one call, right? Yeah, the number will be on the one call. You call that number, and there's a couple, about 5 or 6 of us that will be transporting people back and forth with their cars. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Judy?
I'd just like to say that tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we have our neighborhood representatives meeting where you can talk to the managers and find out different information. So please try to attend. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Vice President's report? Nothing? And I have nothing for this evening. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? We have a second. The meeting is adjourned.